and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
It was a very dangerous, very unsettled time.
I was really being tough, and so was he. And we were going back and forth, and then we fell in love, okay?
Kim sent the president an oversized love letter.
He wrote me beautiful letters, and they're great letters.
It was the beginning of the bromance. Do you think he really believes that Kim Jong-un loves him?
I don't know any other explanation. I think Kim Jong-un gets a huge laugh out of this. I mean, these letters are written by some functionary in the North Korean Workers' Party agitprop office. And yet the president has looked at them as evidence of this deep friendship. Even if it were a deep personal relationship, it doesn't change the fact Kim Jong-un is never going to give up his nuclear weapons program. But nobody should misunderstand that a personal relationship is somehow equivalent to better relations between the two nations.
If we make a deal, I think Kim Jong-un is going to be very, very happy. I really believe he's going to be very happy.
When the two leaders met for the first time in Singapore for their historic summit, it was high theater.
Donald Trump wanted to put on the foreign policy show of a lifetime. You saw the American flags flying next to the North Korean flags, Kim Jong-un coming from one side of the stage, Donald Trump coming from the other, smiling like they had been old friends.
Why is this diplomatic initiative so important to President Trump?
When we were in Singapore, one of the things he said over and over again was to ask how many press people were going to be present for his final press conference. And I think the final number, it was a very large number, as it should have been, 400, 500. By the time we left Singapore, he was at 2,000. That's what he was focused on, that he had had this enormous photo opportunity. First time an American president has met with the leader of North Korea.
John Bolton saw the bargaining firsthand, behind closed doors. In this photo, see him in the lower right corner. He is there in the room where it happened. Take us inside that room. The press mob, as you call them, comes in. As soon as they leave, you say the flattery began with Kim Jong-un.
Well, every president has a style, but the idea that just this oleaginous layer of compliments to this brutal dictator would convince him that you could make a deal with Donald Trump, I thought was both strikingly naive and dangerous. He told Kim Jong-un we would give up what he called the war games on the Korean Peninsula. The president didn't seem to understand that the war games, as he called them, were critical to American and South Korean ability to be ready to withstand pressure from North Korea and to pull down these engagements, these exercises, because they displeased Kim Jong-un, I just thought was an act of folly.
Just a month before that summit, you praised the president's skill, saying he would size Kim up and that he has got an outstanding ability to do that. Did you believe that when you said it?
Not particularly, but, you know, one of the functions of an administration official is to defend the administration.
The summit was over, but the bromance was in full bloom. Trump's nickname for Kim Jong-un was Rocket Man.
Well, he gave him an Elton John CD. Tried to explain that calling him Rocket Man was actually a compliment. I don't think we've heard from Kim Jong-un what he thought of Elton John's song, but that'll be an interesting tidbit in history. But this is the kind of focus that leads you to wonder whether there's an ability to discern what's cosmetic here from what's truly serious.
And you think what he did there is dangerous?
I think when you're dealing with the power of nuclear weapons in the hands of an irrational regime, not taking that as seriously as he should have was a big mistake. Donald Trump got a lot. The U.S. itself got nothing from that. The United States gave much more legitimacy to this dictator and didn't accomplish anything toward any meaningful discussion on the elimination of their nuclear weapons program.
Did you tell him at any time about the things you're now telling the world?
Well, I certainly tried to. I said at one point, Mr. President, he's the dictator of a rat little country that doesn't deserve a meeting with you. The president's response to that was, you know, you have a lot of hostility. Of course, I have more hostility, but you have a lot of hostility.
They would meet twice more, Trump walking away from a summit in Hanoi as Kim's demands hardened.
Sometimes you have to walk. And this was just one of those times.
Only to show up months later at the DMZ, Trump becoming the first American president to step into North Korea.
Would you like me to step across? I'd be very proud to do that. Okay.
But Trump's high-stakes gamble has gotten him nowhere with denuclearization, the man who brought us the art of the deal, failing to secure one.
As we sit here today, would you say the threat from North Korea is greater today than when President Trump took office?
The threat from North Korea today is absolutely greater because while all these photo opportunities were taking place, there's absolutely no doubt that North Korea's work on both its nuclear and ballistic missile programs continued.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate Trump's ability to make a deal in North Korea?
Well, I think it turned out clearly at this point to be 0. It's not that hard to make a deal if you're prepared to give away enough. And if you don't fully appreciate what it is you're giving away